At 6:12 in the morning on July 5th, 2025, off the coast of Somalia, the American flag came under attack. Within minutes, the ocean turned into a battlefield, and the United States unleashed its thunderous wrath. Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us. It all started like a routine mission. The sea was calm, the sky was clear, and a cargo ship cruised silently through waters infested with pirates. But this wasn't your average freighter. This was a ghost with claws, a U.S. Navy supply ship, moving in silence, hauling top-secret gear to a carrier strike group. On board were just 10 sailors, lightly armed, but they were on a mission loaded with risk. Fuel, avionics systems, and a shipment so classified it didn't even show up on the manifest. And then hell broke loose. From the horizon, they came like a pack of sharks. 31 speedboats, over 250 armed men, RPGs, heavy machine guns, tight formation. This wasn't piracy, it was a full-blown military-style ambush. In just minutes, they opened fire. Fast, coordinated. One group charged head-on to suppress. Another flanked the ship. Grappling hooks flew. Combat boots hit steel. Gunfire thundered across the deck. The American sailors fought back, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. 5 were killed. The bridge was overrun, and as the distress signal went out, the American flag looked like it was about to fall. But what the attackers didn't know was that the captain had triggered the silent alert. And when that signal lit up a radar screen 128 miles away, the United States flipped the war switch. If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me. At 6:15 in the morning, just 3 minutes after the ship was seized, the entire combat command center aboard the USS Liberty aircraft carrier flipped to red alert. One signal, one ship, one national crisis. A level 1 priority. A strategic naval asset had been captured by hostile forces. Rear Admiral Peter Sloan didn't ask for permission. He didn't wait for orders. This is not a drill, full deployment. Burn them all, he said. And in that instant, the ocean came alive. 10 MH-60 Seahawk helicopters roared to life, their rotors slicing through the air like rolling thunder. Each chopper carried 30 elite operators, Navy SEALs and Marine Raiders, no meetings, no second guessing, just orders, firepower, and a single objective: take back the ship. On the lower deck, 5 F/A-18 Super Hornets rolled into position smooth, fast, and deadly. Each fighter was armed with smart bombs, high-speed missiles, and Gauss-7 cannons built to shred steel and flesh in seconds. In the hangar bay, a swarm of MQ-25 Stingrays powered up, cold and precise like silent phantoms, outfitted with thermal sensors, AI targeting, and the firepower to turn a warship into ashes in one strike. And then, they launched. By 6:24 in the morning, the sky over the Indian Ocean screamed with the fury of the United States. 3 waves. One mission. Wave 1. Drone scanning, locking, targeting. Wave 2. Super Hornets raining down precision fire. Wave 3. Seahawks flying low, dodging radar, ready to storm the deck. Every move was tracked by satellite, streaming real-time to the airborne command hub aboard an E-2 Delta Hawkeye. No delay, no mistakes. In the command center, Admiral Sloan stared at the tactical map. The hijacked ship was drifting just 8.2 nautical miles from pirate-controlled shores. If it reached land, the mission would turn into urban warfare. Hostages would be lost. Everything would unravel. There was no room for failure, no time for hesitation. This wasn't just a rescue, it was a warning. A direct punch to anyone who dared to challenge the United States. This time, America wasn't knocking. It was kicking the damn door down. At 7:01 in the morning, the hijacked ship drifted closer to the Somali coastline, now clearly within sight of land. The sky didn't darken from clouds, it darkened from machines of war. From the east, 20 MQ-25 Stingrays skimmed just above the surface, silent and deadly, each one locking onto a target. 4 pirate escort boats guarding the seized vessel. 12 seconds later, 4 explosions lit up the sea, no survivors. Then came the thunder. 2 F/A-18 Super Hornets dove from high altitude, unleashing a savage wave of gunfire and bombs. Sandbag defenses on deck were shredded. RPGs exploded before they could even fire. Below, chaos ignited. From the west, like ghosts rising from the sea, 10 Seahawk helicopters stormed in low, hovering just a few feet above the waves. The ropes dropped. The assault began. 300 elite operators hit the deck, like they'd trained for this moment all their lives. No yelling, no hesitation. Every move was muscle memory. Every angle of attack precise. One team kicked in the bridge door 2 shots, 2 pirates down before they could react. Another team cleared the engine room with flashbangs and clean, lethal execution. Deck by deck, room by room, the ship was reclaimed. The American hostages, bound, bloodied, but alive, were pulled onto the main deck. Medics patched them up on the spot. SEALs formed a tight defensive ring. On the radio, one word repeated like a drumbeat. Secured, secured, secured. 7 minutes and 30 seconds, that's all it took. Not a single American life lost. Every pirate either dead or captured. But it wasn't over. Drone cameras beamed back the next target. A land-based stronghold. Vehicle bays. Fuel stores. Radar towers. Well defended. And without a moment's pause, the next command thundered through the channel. Shift target, wipe it out. At 7:18 in the morning, the rescue mission had ended, but the war was just beginning. From the deck of the USS Liberty, American commanders understood one thing clearly. If they stopped at simply retaking the ship, it would only invite the next attack. The message had to be unmistakable: touch American assets, and the entire kill chain comes online. The pirate base, just 7 nautical miles inland, was no longer a secret. Coordinates locked. Satellite eyes sweeping non-stop. Trucks hauling ammo, fighters evacuating. But it was already too late. Rear Admiral Peter Sloan gave the order without blinking. Strike now. Don't wait for higher command. Immediately, 4 F/A-18 Super Hornets tore across the sky, slicing toward land with bone-rattling speed. At 500 feet, they dropped GBU-32 JDAMs, precision-guided bombs capable of turning reinforced buildings into ash without setting foot on the ground. Within seconds, the pirates' command center vanished. A chain of secondary blasts ripped through fuel depots and ammo bunkers, sending fireballs soaring dozens of feet into the air. The ground shook like an earthquake, and that was just the beginning. Next came the MQ-9 Reapers, hunters in the sky, silent and unblinking. They circled the target like hawks, marking every hot zone, every tunnel, every escape path. Then came the Hellfires, pinpoint accurate, one by one. One missile punched through the roof of an underground weapons depot. The explosion triggered a chain reaction, collapsing the entire subterranean network, wiping out nearly a decade of black market operations in a single fiery heartbeat. While the Earth still smoldered, 2 CH-53 Super Stallions approached from the west. Marine raiders stormed the ruins, guided by thermal optics and live drone feeds. They swept through tunnels and shadows, eliminating all survivors with ruthless speed. No negotiations, no warnings, just action. In just 20 minutes, over 500 hostiles were dead. Dozens more captured, blindfolded, bound, and hauled off for interrogation. The rest, buried beneath the rubble. By 8 o'clock sharp, the once untouchable smuggler fortress was nothing more than scorched earth and molten steel. On satellite images, it looked like a meteor had hit. The world stood stunned. Headlines lit up across every major network. U.S. Eris's pirate base in under 42 minutes. Fastest retaliatory operation in modern military history. Allies breathed easier. Enemies went silent. And those hiding behind the black market supply chain, they began to tremble. Because this time, America didn't just strike back. America varned. America dominated. And America proved that no matter who the enemy is, where they hide, or how deep they dig if you threaten the lifeline of the United States, the war machine will crush you without a second thought. From now on, anyone thinking of testing America will have to ask themselves one question: are you ready to vanish from the map? In an increasingly unstable global landscape, the bold, well-coordinated, and heavily armed operation executed by this pirate group is unlikely to be the work of spontaneous insurgents. From their multi-pronged attack strategy and heavy weaponry to their disciplined reaction under counterattack, every detail suggests this may very well be a proxy force backed by a hostile power intent on crippling America's strategic supply chain in the Indian Ocean. Defense and security analysts are now asking tough questions. Are terrorist networks or rogue states using pirate groups as tools of asymmetric warfare? Was this hijacking merely a test run for a new model, one where stateless forces strike at America's logistics? If so, this was more than just a victory over pirates. It was a global warning shot. The United States is prepared to strike first, even against the hidden hands operating from the shadows. The attack is over, the enemy has been wiped out, and once again, the United States has demonstrated its overwhelming strength. But the real question remains, what if this wasn't just piracy, but a pawn in the hands of a greater power? Should the US push further and strike at the root, even if that means confronting a hostile nation? Or is it wiser to stop at a warning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear directly from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the top-tier military analysis only here at Military Knowledge. Because the world is always changing and war never shows up late. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Are terrorist networks or rogue states using pirate groups as tools of asymmetric warfare? Was this hijacking merely a test run for a new model, one where stateless forces strike at America's logistics? If so, this was more than just a victory over pirates. It was a global warning shot. The United States is prepared to strike first, even against the hidden hands operating from the shadows. The attack is over, the enemy has been wiped out, and once again, the United States has demonstrated its overwhelming strength. But the real question remains, what if this wasn't just piracy, but a pawn in the hands of a greater power? Should the US push further and strike at the root, even if that means confronting a hostile nation? Or is it wiser to stop at a warning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear directly from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the top-tier military analysis only here at Military Knowledge. Because the world is always changing and war never shows up late. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.